Working out a budget for a project, whether that is a complete renovation or maybe even just a redecoration, is really hard. When I first meet a client, the first thing I do is I get on a discovery call and I always ask, what's your budget? And most of the time, people have absolutely no idea. Unless you have an unlimited pot of gold, which would be amazing. It is really important to get an idea of what you're looking at cost-wise. And the way to do this is to concentrate on those big ticket items. So I'm not saying that you need to cost out every element of furniture, furnishing, design that's going to go into the space. But if you focus on the big elements, then that's going to give you a clear indication as to where that budget is going. Uncovering your budget is obviously going to be hugely dependent on the size of your project. Let's start with if you were just looking at renovating or redecorating a room or a couple of rooms. So the first thing to focus on is definitely going to be the trades that you're going to use. So even if you're just redecorating one room, unless you're going to do it yourself, you are going to have a couple of contractors. The best thing to do is to bring in some contractors and get some quotes. If you are not at that stage, then at least go online and there will be some forums and some indications as to how much in your area you're going to be looking to pay. So next up is materials. And by materials, I mean the flooring, the paint, the hardware, the joinery, so the elements that go into the space that are designed to last. And this is where you are going to want to make that investment, because you want to invest in quality products that are going to last years. You don't want to be changing them in a few months or a couple of years. Okay, so now it's furniture and furnishings. And this can be quite a daunting task, because the list of furniture and furnishings you're going to put into a space or a couple of spaces is a bit like how long is a piece of string. So focus on your big ticket items. So say it was a living room, big ticket item is going to be the seating, the sofas. And this is where you're going to need to make one of your decisions. So you have to decide at this point, are you going to go something that is potentially cheap and cheerful, IKEA end, or do you want to go something that is going to be quality, that is going to last, that is going to look sensational? Make that decision at this point. Okay, so we've covered what happens if it's just a room or a couple of rooms. What about if you are going to be completely changing the whole house, renovating the whole house, or even adding some extensions? Well, you need to work with an architect and ideally an interior designer, because they are going to help hugely with getting your budget right. They're going to be able to give you a clear indication early on as to what you're facing. And if you actually have a strict budget, then they're going to design a space that's going to work within that budget. Now, contingencies. It would be lovely to think that a build isn't going to run into any problems and it's not going to cost any more money, but they do, and it will. You really, really need to set aside at least 20%. I always say to clients, go for 30%, and unfortunately that money is going to be spent. Setting out a budget it's really hard. It can be incredibly daunting. If you choose to work with an interior designer, they are going to guide you through that. They're going to hold your hand through the whole process. Now, I often hear interior designers getting a bad rep regarding budgeting. People say, oh, they're going to take that budget, but then they're going to go beyond it. But actually, that's not what a good interior designer does. A good interior designer works with your budget and uses it in clever ways to produce incredible design. Now, obviously, interior designers do charge design fees, but you need to weigh that up against the time that they're going to save you, the money that they're going to save you. They're going to prevent you from making costly mistakes. And when we work with clients, we use a lot of trade supplies, and that means discounts, and we share our discounts with our clients, so that's a huge savings. If you have any design questions or you're looking to work with an interior designer, then we would love to hear from you, so please get in touch.